to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Parade Route. Today we have members and officers of the Krewe of Centurions. Good evening.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hi. So, how about y'all introduce yourselves? Let everybody know what
Yes.
your
I'm
positions are with the crew.
All right. I'm Michael Bourgeois. I'm the officer. I deal with membership, float lieutenants, so it deals with the parade and rider costumes.
And I'm Andy LaBeouf. I'm secretary and social media chair.
All right. So, the crew, for starters, has been around since 1979.
79, yes. We didn't parade that first year on 79. It was just a ball, and then the first parade was the second year, 80. So we had ball and parade after that.
And from what I understand, it started with businessmen from Harahan and River Ridge.
Yes, because the first, I'm not 100% sure, but the first so many parades were on Jefferson Highway, the old Jefferson Highway
I think it was the
route.
first two from what I've read.
Yeah.
And
before
in
me.
like 1981, I think, y'all moved to the Veterans.
To the Veterans
Correct.
route,
Yes.
which was Sunday, which we went to. It was the first Sunday of Mardi Gras.
Yes. And y'all have had a few different days around during Mardi Gras, which intrigues me. I know in 2010, y'all moved from the Sunday to avoid Super Bowl Sunday, when the Saints went to the Super Bowl and
Yeah.
made the city
That was
erupt.
gonna be an empty route.
Right.
Right. No one.
And honestly,
Right.
we had decided to make the move before we even realized that it was going to be Super Bowl Sunday. We were moving off of Family Gras, and we moved to the Friday night, and we loved the Friday night of Mardi Gras. So, but now with the new Family Gras route, it's intriguing. So, going back to Family Gras.
And having ridden on the Family Gras route, it's a great ride.
Good.
I think it's a totally different meta experience for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, we rode it this year, obviously without Family Gras at the end, and we loved it without Family Gras at the end. So we know it's only going to be better.
Yeah, just wait until you see it with Family Gras.
Right.
So, have y'all announced y'all's theme yet for the year?
No, we haven't announced it yet.
Not public.
But yeah, our theme this year, we're gonna do a water theme. It's gonna be fins and fantasies. All the floats will depict different finned water creatures, and all the maid collars will be different fantasies, like Loch Ness Monster. To be honest with you, I couldn't tell you the six
Little
maid collars.
Mermaid.
Yeah.
that
So
type of thing.
maids will be fantasies. All the floats will be a finned creature.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Some of them, I know we have a shark, we have a dolphin,
Octopus.
octopus, even though it's tentacles, not fins, but yeah. But it's all water creatures.
Yeah.
So
Do y'all have a
Breaking
particular contest or whatever that goes into the naming of the theme for each year?
no, we really don't. Our float builder's Jack Rizzuto, and Jack kind of he'll bounce a couple things off of us, and we kind of go from there. The board decides on what the theme's going to be, but it all deals back into what we have availability on props and what he can get his hands on, and things like that. So
It always seems to me like that's a mystery going into it, but the answer is always that. It's like, depends what we can get. you know?
Right.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like it would be
It's-
some big.
yeah,
prize
and we
or
try not to do anything too close to each other within the same, within a few year.
Yeah.
We did do a water theme about 3 years ago, but even though we're going back to a water theme this year, none of the floats are the same as the others. So we didn't see a whale or a seahorse or anything 3 years ago that you'll see now. And water themes, honestly, I've seen the floats. I don't know. The water themes are actually they're so beautiful because between the flowers that we put on our floats and the
Very
seaweed,
vibrant.
and I find the colors are super vibrant
Yeah.
compared to other things we've done in the past. So I like the water theme.
Well, one thing that you mentioned, things that y'all have done, your theme or I guess the crew theme overall is Centurions, based off of like the Roman warriors, or the warriors from the ancient times, and a lot of the theme of it, you'll see folks dressed with, like the Roman war helmet,
Absolutely.
the chariots bringing
Yes.
lieutenants and whatnot.
Yes. So we still lead the parade off with chariots, which we actually didn't put. We just put the chariots back on the street about 4 years ago, because since Katrina we hadn't used them until 4 years ago, because we hadn't just put them back on the street because we hadn't put the money into redoing the chariots and getting them relit, getting them re-pedal papered and everything. But we put them back on 4 years ago. So we do start the parade with chariots, and we do start the parade with riding lieutenants. Some years we have 5, some years we've had 7 riding lieutenants, but that's what it'll start: 2 chariots and 6 or 7 riding lieutenants. And yeah, we do stay pretty true to that theme.
The officer and the captains have the armor gear, that type of stuff. So.
Right. And our title float, which is obviously Centurion themed, because it's got the big Centurion on the front of it with
Right.
the theme on it. Every one of those riders will be wearing a burgundy and gold Centurion rider uniform, and they all will wear helmets. Something we've done different this year, our officers will now ride with the captain. So our Roman officer float is now being turned into a rider float. So those riders will also be in burgundy and gold costumes with Roman helmets. Those will be the only 2 floats that'll wear the burgundy and gold and the Roman helmets. The rest of them will be in Centurion outfits, but they'll be in color costumes that coordinate with the floats, and a more traditional paper hat with a drape and a mask. And women will be in gold wigs.
Just a handful of years ago, y'all went co-ed.
Yes, we did.
3 years ago.
3 years ago, we did. The first 2 years, nobody really we had put it in Arthur Hardy and places that we were co-ed, but it was very hard to tell because we did stay with the same costume across the board, full mask, hats for everyone. But then this past year, because we've had such an influx of women, we are trying to trend to a more female-friendly costume also, where the women this past year wore wigs and half masks. And same thing this year. Everybody's going to be in the color Centurion costume, men and women, but women will be in wigs and half masks. Men will be in paper hats, with the drape and a full mask.
Outside of the parade, I know that y'all do several events.
Sure. So we do, absolutely do several different events. We partner every year with Magnolia Community Services, which is a nonprofit that is based in River Ridge, and they help adults with developmental disabilities. So we do several different several different events throughout the year to benefit them. And then also for the parade, we also have a float with their students ride on the float during our parade.
Y'all been doing that for some years now.
That's I
a
can't
long
tell you
time,
when we
yeah.
haven't
It
done
feels
it.
like it's been going a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
that's a
we'll
nice
provide the
thing.
float and the costumes, and different things that we do during the
we-
year. The proceeds that we make from it, we
Yeah,
put
so we
into.
just recently did our annual Bunko night, which is a fun, family-friendly night to get out and have a little bit of fun. And the proceeds that we receive from there go to support their float in the parade.
And then something new that we're doing this year on throws, beads. We are going to buy from the Ark. So we are going to sell our members. The only option they'll have from us to buy throws is going to be sacks of beads and the Crawford sacks that are going to be from the Ark. Now, riders will have the option to buy a sack with 48 millimeters, and they'll have an option to buy sacks with extra longs, so beads that are over 48s. They are multicolored.
Yeah.
The Ark, the adults with disabilities, they recycle the beads. They string them all again. They pre-package them, and they pack them into the sacks. And this year we won't bring anything in from overseas with beads, because we will buy everything locally from the Ark, because we think it's such a great thing that they do for these adults, and we want to give back. So
Yeah.
all our
Nobody really keeps that stuff anyway. We
No.
did the same thing last year, and it's a great thing.
yeah.
And
So beads
what
will
they
come
do
from
is
the
nice,
Ark.
and-
They do.
Stuffed animals will come from the Ark, and bags of trinkets. Obviously our bags of trinkets won't have another crew in it. We tried to buy bags of stuffed animals and trinkets that all are just generic.
Yeah.
You know, we try not to throw in other club stuff. You know, we tell our riders they're not allowed to do that. But yes, we'll be buying trinkets, stuffed animals, and beads for them. All the Centurions logo stuff will go through our normal Mardi Gras supplier, but you know, we'll do trinkets, like I said, the stuffed animals and the beads through the ARC this year. And now if we have a rider that wants to buy a specific stuffed animal, yeah, they can go anywhere and buy it. Or if they want a specific pearl or a specific size bead, you know, that'll just be on them. But
Speaking about throws, something else we're doing new for 2020 is a signature throw. You know, you have the Muse's shoe, you have the purses from Nick's. Well, we're actually going to be having Centurion swords. So
nice.
each rider is going to be limited to 12 swords that they can decorate however they want, and that's going to be our signature throw. So.
we
that'd be cool.
We're super excited about that.
we've had swords for a long time, and our sword has always been a big seller.
Right.
We will still sell burgundy and gold Centurion swords,
Right.
But
These
they'll
are-
also
yeah.
we'll also be selling the same sword to riders that are just solid white that they'll be able to do whatever
Decorate
to.
to whatever they want.
Glitter, bedazzle.
Absolutely.
paint,
And we're actually having a
whatever.
contest in actually 12th night. We do something. It's our King Cake Festival where we auction off king cakes again, raise proceeds for the nonprofits. But that night we're going to be doing the contest for the winner of the best sword.
Yeah, this past year we did that for the first time with just our club, and yeah, we did the event where we sold tickets to get in, and then
Highly
we did
successful.
yeah we did about 12 king cakes and auctioned them off, and yeah, you wouldn't imagine what people started
A
throwing up
king
for
cake
king
going
cakes.
for $500.
Oh, yeah.
It was insane. So we're like, all right, we need to do this again. And then at night we'll ask the riders to bring their best sword, and we'll get someone to judge it, and they'll win. So what we're probably doing is whoever wins it will get a comp ride for next year. So
I know a
That's
couple
what
of
we're thinking.
impartial judges. If you're looking for
yeah, there we go.
No, that's good to hear that a lot of the crews are starting to do the signature throws.
Absolutely.
I love
It's something that people
Yeah.
enjoy. You know,
Exactly.
spectators love going and
Well,
get
it gives
something
you-
that's
that. That's a
unique.
keepsake.
Yeah, it's a
Nothing
Yeah,
else that you
exactly.
get during Mardi Gras is a keepsake. The
Right.
size, those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
Yep.
your beads might go in your attic, but you'll
Yeah.
keep the signature throw.
Right. Yeah.
somewhere
Like
else.
I have
Yeah.
a little corner in my
Yeah,
in my
with your
front
Musa
room where
shoe
it's got
or
the
something,
Musa
yeah.
shoe, the plunger from.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I've got the
uh,
same thing that I put
yeah.
away every year in at Mardi Gras. My wife brings out because it's like Mardi Gras decoration for the
yeah,
house.
Right,
decorations.
You know, but yeah, throws. We really took 2 years ago. We've always thrown Centurion throws, but we really these last 2 years have really been pushing to do more and more Centurion logo throws. You know, in the past we've sold so many just generic things that we didn't need to that we didn't put our names on, and we've really been trying to do better because that's really what people want. And being that we're a night parade, it needs to be light
It's
up.
light up.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
light up.
Yeah.
We did more light ups this past year than we've ever. We did
Yeah.
like 10 light up throws this past year, and we're gonna do just as many, if not more, this year because that's what people want. They beat on the side of floats either for the signature throw, even though the sword's not a light up. They just know they want the
still want
sword.
it, yeah.
But besides that, we're just doing more and more
And the
light up.
balloons. We still do doubloons as well, and that's something that we.
Yeah.
Over the last few years, I feel like we're starting to see more and more people on the route
there's a lot of
screaming
them now,
for
all of a
doubloons.
Well,
yeah.
Pickle in particular.
both Kirk and I are doubloon collectors.
Okay.
And one of the things that's changing it a little bit is there's a couple clubs that are doing like cutout doubloons. where
Right,
It's
yeah.
not just the
Traditional round?
Sure.
round. You know, like some of them will
A triangle.
look like a
or- yeah,
horse or
exactly.
a triangle or
Sure.
you
The
know,
gentleman that
a
does our
sheep.
throws is pretty traditional. He won't
Yeah.
get away from the round the bush. So
See, I'm more of a coin collector. I'm actually third generation doubloon collector
Nice.
as well. So I like them round. The cutouts don't fit in the holder.
Don't fit in
Right,
the
right,
holder.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, we'll still have round. On our doubloons, the captain will always throw purple doubloons. The officers have thrown green, and then the club throws silver, aluminums. So
And occasionally, like the year I was king, I had my own special
yes,
ones
and
with
occasionally
my face
yeah,
on
the
it,
king
so-
and queen will do a
Yeah.
doubloon together some years. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you'd mentioned that you were king.
I was 3 years ago.
What's it take to become a king?
So our club, you have to be a part of the King's Club. It's a whole like separate club that falls under the Krewe and Centurions. It's open to just men. It's additional membership, a fee of $100 to be part of the King's Club. And basically, what that entitles you to is to several different parties that we have throughout the year, and then you have to be either you can put your name up to be nominated for a king, or you can just be the one that is voting on who's going to be the king. So the year I was king, I put my name up, definitely was interested, and then the selection process is you basically go around the table and you vote for who you want. And luckily in 17? 16, 17, I was able to reign as King Centurion. So, yeah.
Do you know if there's any crews left that still do a king cake method?
The luck of the draw?
Yeah.
So that's how we used to do it.
That's how we did it.
That's
at
how
one
we
time.
did it for a long time.
That's how we did it forever.
Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
my uncle became the captain.
Captain.
Which he became captain in 26, so
Yeah.
15 years ago. And that's when we changed it.
Right. But before that, it was night of coronation. Everyone put their names in the hats, and it was literally a luck of the draw. So that has definitely changed it. I don't know
I don't
other
know if
clubs.
anybody still
I'm
does
not
it that way
sure.
any longer,
The only
but-
one that I know of right now,
Doesn't
Off
Demian
the
do it
top-
that way?
Oh, I feel like Endymion might draw.
Funny 40 Fellows for sure.
Okay.
They, on the night of, they do a king cake, and the two people who get the bean or the baby are the boss and queen.
Okay. Well, interesting.
You
Interesting.
could do that with a group of 25 or 30, whatever they jam onto that streetcar.
The only downside to doing it that way is you can run across somebody that gets yanked that doesn't really want to do it.
Right.
And, you know,
Yeah.
It's a commitment.
It's a
It's
commitment. Yeah, I
absolutely
mean, it
commitment.
really is.
I know it takes a lot.
Yeah,
It takes a lot of a lot more dedication to the crew.
For sure. So when I was king, I was actually not part of the office crew. I was just a regular member at the time. And that, I would say, would probably be the year that I really got heavily involved with the crew Centurions, because, A, you're not going to just be king and not really participate
Well, you
in
have to
it.
walk
Like,
around.
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
head
So,
up, I'm king.
Right.
Bow down.
Yeah. And it costs to be king.
and yeah, it costs. It
Yeah.
definitely costs money to be king.
Yeah.
So it's a commitment.
How do you guys choose the queen?
So queen, literally, it's a little bit different, or a lot different.
Yeah.
We have a list that is literally Mike's daughter. Her name went on the list the day she was born.
So we're golden. We've got queens.
Yeah.
Probably. We probably got the next 16, 17 years worth
Yeah.
of queens. So
Exactly.
we've been very fortunate in that, you know, our club, you know, we have a good core of members that keep putting daughters and granddaughters up as soon as they're born.
Our queen this year, for 2019, she was literally one of the first ones that the day she was born,
Yeah,
her
she was put on the
grandparents
list.
called and put her on the list, and she was actually our queen 40th.
Yeah. So we
this
know
year.
we know our queens going forward. It's
Yeah.
just king every year.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
Wife was thrilled about that.
Yeah. My wife's actually on the list to be queen,
Okay.
so she'll be celebrating that in a few
She'll have her
years.
own day one day.
She'll have
yeah.
her own day.
Yes.
So with membership, how can people become a member of Centurions?
It's open to everyone. I mean, we definitely are not a exclusive club. We love reaching out, and anyone that wants to come be a part of one of our events to see what we're about, that we definitely encourage it. We have a really great presence on social media and our website, so we definitely encourage people to just follow us on Facebook and see what we're doing, and check us out. Come to one of the events and see what we're all about.
And if I could throw you a plug, it's always been one of the most beautiful parades in that area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
know, if
Try.
to ride.
We
in-
work hard on that.
Well, I appreciate the grandeur of some of that stuff because I know it's difficult, and then really, you shoot into the wind hoping for good weather. You know, it's
Absolutely.
hard. You're putting a lot out there and not knowing if you can even do it. So,
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
I've always liked y'all's parade.
Thank you.
you.
I appreciate that.
Now there is a catch. You have to be 21 and up, right?
21 and up in order to ride.
So that's what we put. Look, if we have somebody come to us and tell us that they want their 16 or 17-year-old to ride with them, we'll let them ride. We're not letting anybody under 21 just ride by themselves.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's nobody. We don't have too many people under 21 asking us to be a member, but we get the occasional parent or grandparent that's like, look, my son or daughter, they're 17 or 18, can they ride? And yes, if you're riding with an adult that's over 21, then yeah, we do not have a problem with it at all. But yes,
And
we're
then
just-
some of our royal court is definitely under 18.
yeah, or
Our
our
maids
junior
are-
court and stuff. Yeah, they're all under 21. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I know right now y'all's membership is right around 300, 400, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Are y'all looking? What do y'all hope to have when parade day rolls?
We're hoping. I would think we'll be around. I would say at worst, I would think we'd be 350, but I think we'll be more the 375, 380 number when it rolls around.
We crossed the 300 mark at this point, which is probably the
quickest we've
the
ever
quickest
got to
we
it.
ever got to that 300 mark. So I definitely think we'll be closer to that 400 mark.
Have y'all seen an influx in membership with the announce of the parade day change?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think the parade day change didn't help at all. Didn't hurt at all. These last few years just seems that membership has just been helping. It's just been getting better year by year. So, yeah, this parade date change didn't hurt. We had quite a few riders that they loved our Friday night. We're not losing anybody moving to the Family Gras weekend. If
Right.
anything, we're helping our riders because a lot of them, honestly, few that we picked up this year, they wanted to ride with us in the past, and they couldn't because a lot of people leave Friday or Saturday. They go out of town for Mardi Gras
Right.
that want to ride the first weekend. So we've gained that on the first weekend, definitely.
Absolutely.
I can't say we're going to lose anybody. That's heartbroken that we're going to be on Family Gras week because most of our riders know it's going to be a better end coming to the Family Gras
definitely.
festival. So
I know y'all do a ball as well.
yes, we do.
That's correct.
Our celebration ball this year is going to be January 18th. It is at Copeland Towers in Metairie, which is a change. About 2 years ago, we, since the beginning, have always been at the Marriott on Canal Street. And about 2 years ago, we made the move to Metairie. What's crazy is membership wasn't necessarily hurting, but ball participation was definitely hurting. And I think a lot had to do with the rooms in New Orleans are way more expensive than the rooms for our guests to come and spend a night in Metairie. And let's face it, we're not a New Orleans club. We're a Metairie club. Most of our riders don't want to go into New Orleans to come to our ball. Besides the room rate was to stay overnight was expensive. Most people were dropping $40 to park for the night, on top of buying ball tickets that were at about $150 a ticket to go to it. Whereas now the last 2 years we've been at about $100 a ticket.
$100.
We're probably going to be still at about $100, $105 a ticket, to get in. But we're going to max that room out this year to the full capacity of what it can do. And
That's a beautiful venue.
yeah, it is.
It is really pretty.
We put all the pipe and drape up. We put a backdrop. I mean, we really do a lot to that room. Put a sound
And when we
system in
moved
there.
over to Copeland Towers, we kind of redid how we normally do our ball. So for a while, it was always like dinner first, and then tableau second, and then dancing. Well, people were literally, tableau wasn't starting until, 9, 10 o'clock?
Yeah, it was late.
It was super late. So when we moved to Metairie, we kind of flipped that, and now literally doors open at 6:30, 7 o'clock tableau starts, 8 o'clock dinner served, 9 o'clock the party starts. So people are kind of it flows a little bit better, and I feel like that has definitely helped our attendance. Also, the bands that we have been performing at our celebration balls have been really top-notch bands that are local to the city.
So it sounds like your ball is a lot less of the traditional sense than
Our tableau's
more of a
still
party
our
event.
tableau's still
Tableau's
traditional.
to
Yeah.
an extent, but we try to make it fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely fun.
So
I mean, I can appreciate some of the more traditional balls, but to me, after a half hour of it, it's boring.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
had enough.
Yeah, no,
Let's
we
have
definitely
a
like to
little
have fun
you
with
know?
the tableau, but we still stay true to our tradition.
Yeah.
So.
all right.
And I saw some pictures and video from y'all's ball. I know this past year, I want to say it was this past year's, y'all had like the 610 Stompers. Y'all had, I think I saw Rumble's band playing out.
Yes, actually, since we made the move to the Landmark, we had not had the 610 Stompers or Rummel, just because we maxed out the room. We don't have
There
the
was no
room
space for them.
to get Rummel into the ballroom
Yeah.
anymore.
We would love to have them, but
Yeah, when we were at the Marriott, that room could hold 1,200 people.
Yeah.
And so we had the room behind the scenes to line Rummel up, to get Rummel behind the curtains. Now in this room, we just
We're
can't.
maxing it out
We
with
can't do
tables.
it. Yeah, we're just maxing out with tables, which we're happy with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather, our last ball probably at the Marriott, we had probably 250 to 275 people, which at that time we were at about 285 to 310 in riders. So it was good. Whereas now we're crossing at 350, 375 in riders. And I think this last year we put right over 400 in the
Yeah.
room, and this year we'll have probably
That or more.
I think we're
Yeah.
going to be able to sit about 46 10 tops and then 2 4 tops. So we're going to be at like 470, and that's going to be
All of it.
I mean
Yeah, that's the
I
max.
think
That's wall to wall.
it's wall to
Walkway
wall.
is it,
Exactly.
yeah.
And right, you still
Yeah, that's
have
the
to
thing.
have
We
that
got to put up the
walkway,
stage.
so,
We
yeah.
got to put the walkway up the
Right.
center. So that's just what it can hold,
Yeah.
So
But also the people at the Landmark, I mean, have just been completely
they bent over
phenomenal
backwards to make
with
sure
us.
this works. And
They love us, we love them, so it's a perfect fit for us.
So we'd much rather stay at 460, 470 at ball every year and not ever, and just that's it,
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to hit a max and cap it and just
Yeah,
get
we're
you thinking
done.
early,
Yeah.
rather than going
Yeah.
back to the Marriott and still only filling half the room,
Right.
and this just works out way better.
Way better.
Yeah.
Who's the Grand Marshals for y'all's parade?
So we
this
just
year?
actually announced that this week. Very happy to say that we have the Little League World Champions as our
Yeah.
Grand Marshal this year. So they'll be the boys team will be reigning as Grand Marshal, but then we'll also be honoring the girls teams who made it to the finals as guests of the captain. So they'll also be in the parade as well. So we're super excited to have them.
Yeah, and we actually had the girls last year in our parade, and and then they reached out to us about a few weeks ago and
wanted to
wanted
come
to do
back.
it again. So I was like, yeah,
Happy
sure.
to have you.
Absolutely.
And this will be the first year we've ever had a Grand Marshal.
Yeah.
We've never had a Grand Marshal in the past, and it was something we wanted to do this year. With the move and doing new things with floats, and our captain's float is now going to be the new Grand Marshal float. So it should be really neat.
How many floats are y'all looking at riding with this year?
22 to 24, probably 22, 23, honestly. Just depends on what happens with the.
Yeah, I know it's still a little early. But
Yeah, it's still a little early because, we're trying to see where we're at because we have the girls team that we're gonna put on a float that wasn't in the original count, I guess. A
Right.
rider floats that we will. So we'll probably be good 22, 23, which that's where we like to be. If we can get 22, 23 and fill all our double deckers and put the bands in our parade that we want to put in our parade.
And this
then
year we had, 9 bands? Is that right?
12.
We had 12 this year?
Yeah.
Okay, so lots of bands.
Yeah.
Do either of y'all have a favorite theme that the crew has ever done to where it's like, man, if I could get into a time machine right now?
I mean, I would
I'd
say
wanna
the year I
relive
was
that
king.
theme.
The year I was king, it was pretty cool.
What was your theme?
Mine was like Roman empires or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was.
The theme
Was
that
it Greeks
year
and
was
gods?
he was
Yeah.
the king.
Yeah.
The theme that year really was I'm the king.
Exactly. Yeah, it was my face everywhere.
Probably the coolest theme we did, and it just happened to work. But before Katrina ever hit that year, we had decided, because Katrina was in August, obviously.
Yeah.
We pick our theme. We know a few weeks after Mardi Gras ends, floats get back, they start getting. We know what we're going with. And that year, it just happened to fall that we were doing everything New Orleans. So everything was going to be New Orleans themed. And then Katrina hit, and it was just kind of a cool year for it to be an everything
Yeah,
New Orleans
right.
theme.
Yeah, a
because
little,
there was like
irony or
there was like 3 or 4 parades that year that after Katrina went to a New Orleans theme or like what is it
do you know what it means? to
yeah,
Miss New
yeah,
Orleans,
It's that,
or-
and we had it before that even came about. So it was a cool year. It was a cool theme. All the floats depict the different New Orleans.
That was an odd
things.
Mardi Gras that year. I don't want to experience that one.
No,
again.
it really
Yeah,
was.
that's
That
not
year
really,
that year was
It
crazy.
So strange.
So we own all our own plumes that we put on our collars because we still do headpieces on the king, queen, and all the maids. And at that time, we were still doing dukes. We would do a maid and duke pair that would have a matching costume. So like that year, I think I had the cathedral because I was a duke that year, and the maid had a cathedral also. But they were different, but they were both red collars. And now we don't do maids and dukes. We just do maids. But that year, long story short, the warehouse that we store all our plumes that we own, the roof got ripped off. We lost everything. So that year was the only year we ever rode without plumes, and we actually draped all the collars with boas back and forth. And so it was the only year we didn't do plumes because there was so much going on that year.
Right.
And
We were
if you've ever bought plumes, plumes are not cheap.
Not cheap.
No.
It's one thing to
yeah.
replace 1 or 2 colors every year, but when you have to replace every
Everyone?
color,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The most important thing was buying new white for king and queen.
Right.
And then everything else we did with Boas that year, and honestly, looking back on it, it really looked fine. Our costume guy was really good that was doing our
There was
collars.
a lot of talk that year of, hey, let's just not even have it.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
and I think pretty soon it felt like, no, we have to do it. We
Yeah.
have to go. You know,
Yeah.
and that's
It was the one thing that you could look forward to.
Right.
You know, I mean, everything else seems to be crumbling
yeah,
around you.
There was
but-
a lot of talk that year. It just seemed at one point Mardi Gras just wasn't going to
Yeah.
happen that year, and for good reason.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad that it won
Let's
off.
not repeat that
No,
ever.
no,
Yeah, no,
ever.
we don't need to repeat it.
Who does your costumes?
So rider costumes will come from D&D Creations this year. Collars for King, Queen, and maids come from Don Stratton. He's done our collars since the beginning.
time,
He's probably done them for 41 years, all 41. If he didn't do them since 41 on, he's done them from 5 on. From 1 on. So I think he's done them since the beginning. So he'll do our collars until he tells us he's done and he's retiring. But yeah, that's,
We keep trying to get him to put his name in the hat to be king, and he's good.
he's not gonna do that.
Is he riding with you guys?
He doesn't. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. But
He's there.
he's at the parade because he's
Yeah.
making sure when we're hooking collars on
Yeah.
on the floats and stuff that
Yeah, he wants to
he
make
wants to
sure
make
that
sure
Make
that-
sure his
the
work
Yeah,
product
is
looks
good.
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
And we
things
appreciate
happen,
that.
plumes break,
Yeah.
moving
Yeah.
them around that day, and he's there to make sure it's fine.
Absolutely.
So how long have both of y'all been in the crew?
Since you were born.
Yeah, I say my dad, my uncle's the captain, my dad's the president of the club, so I've been in it since for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think this is like my 8th year, 9th year, so I'm not as long.
But yeah, we've been in for a while. I don't think we're getting out anytime soon.
Yeah, no. They wouldn't let us.
No, we can't escape.
So you had mentioned earlier, and I don't know if you want to talk about it here, that there might be something special coming this year, rolling down the street with you guys.
There could be. We haven't really told anybody yet, so
Okay,
we'll leave that
I'll
one.
leave it alone.
You'll get to see it if you come out to the parade.
Okay.
A teaser.
Deal.
Yeah, exactly. If you're there at 6 o'clock on the Metairie Road, you'll see it.
See it.
It's gonna be nice.
Do you guys have any favorite parades other than your own?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, my wife's probably gonna kill me this year because Toth is our absolute favorite parade to go out to, and we're riding in Toth now, so my wife's not super thrilled that I won't be out with her helping her.
She's just gonna come see us.
Yeah, so she'll just have to come see us. We have ridden, like we were talking about before, in Sparta for the last few years, and we made this parade change, we're riding in Toth. But yeah, I think Toth Sunday. I really enjoy Toth Sunday.
I'm
Toth-
still a fan for Muses as well.
Yeah.
Toth's just we just like that Sunday, and
Crew de Vue all the way. That is my
Yeah.
I can't say
favorite.
I've
Yeah.
ever seen Crew de Vue. I've never
It's-
seen Muses, so
It's you.
Muses is worth seeing.
It's definitely
a
worth
nice
seeing,
parade,
yeah.
and it's different.
Yeah.
I work in the
Full of
tuxedo
itself a little
field.
bit.
So Mardi Gras
Yeah.
weekend is
Right. Yeah.
absolutely
You're working until
nuts.
2 in the morning.
Yeah. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This move is actually way better for me, for
Mm-hmm.
Centurions, because the first weekend we are a lot less busy, but second weekend is just it's crazy.
I don't know how you live in New Orleans and not own a tux, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I mean,
I've
but
I
a lot of
heard
people
a
don't.
Every year.
statistic that New Orleans has the highest per capita of tuxedo owners.
Oh, it has to be.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, it
It
definitely
never
is.
fails. I'll
Yeah.
wear one
Why are
every
you
year.
guys
Yeah,
not wearing
absolutely.
tuxedos right now? Is the question.
we didn't get the dress code. That's
Yes.
what it was.
But yeah, a lot of people don't own them. I mean, yeah, so many people get last minute tickets to that weekend of Endymion and Bacchus and Orpheus. It's just it's chaos. Everybody's getting last minute tickets. So people that don't normally go to anything that they need a black tuxedo for get a ticket, and they don't own one. So they're showing up the day of.
It doesn't really have to fit.
No,
Right,
it just needs to be black.
They'll take
just
the
to get
jacket
in.
off.
So who created y'all's parade? Who started it and why?
The only people that I know of the original board was our original, and I don't even know if he was the original president, but Mike Rash and our former captain, Maurice Olivier. Like I said, I wasn't old enough to see the original.
Yeah.
And, they were just, I think it was 7 Harahan businessmen that started it because they wanted a family-friendly parade that they wanted to put that was kid-themed on Jefferson Highway. And I can't tell you why they ever left Jefferson Highway 2 or 3 years into it. I don't know if it was just Harry and River Ridge said they weren't doing it anymore, so they were forced to go to the Veterans Route. But yeah, it was just a group of business guys that wanted to put a family-friendly parade on the street.
Whereabouts was the route on Jefferson?
Do what? I'm sorry.
Whereabout was the route on Jefferson? Do you
I couldn't
recall
even
at all?
tell you. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Because honest, one of our officers, he's our treasurer, Ernie Meisner. He's a charter member. He's an original member. He was an original board member, but he's an original member. And I really don't know where it started. He'd be the guy to ask.
Yeah.
Maybe we could try to find that out for you, Alan.
I was kind of curious. I mean, I used to live out that way, and I
don't know where
remember
it is.
going out there when I was a little kid, because, like I say, my dad's been a doubloon hound forever, so if anybody threw a doubloon, we'll be going.
Yeah, and we weren't the only crew there, because I think Jason originated there,
That's right.
too. And, yeah.
Where does the crew name come from?
I don't know why they picked Centurions. I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you that one.
Do
I
you
don't
know
know
the
why.
history of it?
I don't. I
Yeah,
don't know
we
why
know
they
that.
went with a Roman theme, honestly.
I know that the Centurions are the Centuries, which were the Roman soldiers.
Right.
Right.
And they were called that because they were groups of 100.
Right.
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 But why they
why they
selected that
picked it?
for-
Yeah.
Why
No
they
clue.
picked it? I couldn't tell you. I don't know if they just thought it was a good idea and they went with it.
They like the plumes.
Yeah, I don't know. They like the costumes.
So
maybe.
you mentioned that you also do y'all's social media.
Yes, I do.
Where can people follow y'all online?
Facebook is our biggest channel for sure, Krewe of Centurions on Facebook, but we are also on Instagram, and then we have a website at www.kreweofcentorions.com.
Awesome.
And I know online, y'all on the website, you can sign up to be a member as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can.
What's the membership cost?
So normal membership's $295 for the year. If you sign two people up at the same time, which it says couples membership, and it can be anything, as
You
long
and
as you
your
just
dog.
get two people signed up at the same time, we'll do it for $500. So you do get a $95 discount.
Good break.
Yeah.
So.
And then we have discounts for military, firemen, police, all that as well.
ENT, yeah,
I
it's
see
and
that.
that's
That is
200.
a good discount right there.
Yeah,
huge
it really
discount
is.
for that.
Almost $100 discount.
Yeah, it is, and we have quite a few people that, because of that, ride with us that didn't ride with us previously. Because we only started that 2 years ago. So this is our third year that we're running with membership that same way, and it's helped. It gets people that are, that are happy because they.
It's a break.
Yeah, it's a break, and not just a break that we're gonna, because they're active military or they're retired military. They're like, really, they're giving us something, so
Yeah.
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 they jump in on it.
Do you want to plug any other upcoming fundraisers that y'all have?
Yeah, I mean, so we have our annual 10K.
10K raffles coming up.
That's our annual 10K fundraiser. It's open to the public. It's not only member exclusive, but basically you come in for $100, you get a chance to win $10,000. So,
Yeah.
it's always a really great event.
It's
that we
our
do every
biggest
year.
one fundraiser.
our biggest fundraiser.
Yeah. It is our biggest fundraiser. So we sell 300 tickets. They're 100 apiece, and the winner leaves with. The winner has the option to leave with $10,000.
The last couple of years they've been splitting it
Yeah,
at
when we get
5,
down
I
to the
think.
last 5
Yeah.
people, we'll call the last 5 tickets up. So when you sign off on the ticket, you're going all the way for the 10,000 or you'll split. So when we get to the last 5, not all the time is everybody there. So that's why they have to write on the ticket when they check off on a ticket when they submit it that they're a splitter or not. Because if they're not there and they say they're going to 10, going to 1,
yeah.
we're going to 1. But if the 5 tickets holders are there, we'll ask at 5, say, hey, do y'all want to split and each take 2 apiece? I've only, since we've ever done this, have had 1 year that we've gone to 1,
All the way.
and one person's left with 10 grand. Most people, that spend $100 for a couple, because it's 2 people get in on
Right.
a ticket to eat and drink and music for the night.
Yeah.
Most people, if they
You're
spend
happy with
$100 and they hit the $2,000, they're like, yeah, we're splitting. We're
Yeah.
walking out
Yeah,
of
we're
here
good.
1,900 ahead. So usually it's a split kind of a deal. But yeah, it's our best fun. That's our biggest fundraiser. of the
Where's
year.
that event at?
We hold it at Jefferson Orleans South.
That's the one that's on Division?
Yes,
Or-
it's on
that's
Division.
correct, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we hold that there, and we hold our steak and lobster dinner there, which
Which
is
we
actually
just
another,
had.
which we just had. It's the first time we introduced the court, and it's kind of cool because there used to be a couple clubs that did a steak and lobster dinner, and nobody does it anymore. So we're about the only ones that do a steak and lobster dinner, and it's a good event. We don't introduce our king at it, but we introduce the queen for the first time, and then all the junior court, our maids, ladies in waiting, junior dukes, and then boy and girl pages. Everybody that we have at that point. in the court, and then we do a steak and lobster dinner, and it's a good time.
And then we have our royal coronation on October 19th this year as
18th.
well. 18th, yeah, excuse me. And that's also at Copeland Towers.
Yes.
And that's where we announce the king.
That's where we'll announce the king.
All
So
that.
the king will get announced there.
Yeah.
All right.
And it'll match up with the queen, and then from there it's
Yeah. Our
Go.
queen this year, that has been announced. So her name is Emma Bourgeois. She is a junior at Chappelle. She is actually the granddaughter of our captain. So yeah, we're super excited. Her name was on the list the day that she was born, so we're very excited to
Yeah.
have her
yes.
That's
Been
awesome.
a long time waiting for.
reign. Yeah.
I have one question for y'all
Sure.
both.
Yeah.
You've been a part of this crew for about 8 years,
Yeah.
and you pretty much your entire life.
Yeah, I'm going on a good 20.
Why have y'all stayed with this particular crew for so long, and what's made you come back every single year?
Sure. So for me, I got involved. My wife was actually, when we were dating, she was already involved with Centurions. She was a maid the year we started dating. So it was kind of one of those things. I got introduced to the crew through her. I'm not originally from here, but I always wanted to be part of a Mardi Gras crew. So it was kind of like my foot in the door. And honestly, right whenever I met everyone that's part of the crew, they are the ones that really kept me coming back. It's such a family-friendly event that literally these people are my friends. These are my family. Like, we see each other outside of Krewe of Centurions events. We rely on each other, and that's honestly why I keep coming back. It's the people that are members of the crew.
And I'll say that to add to what he's saying is, when you're at that 350, 400 bubble, every float lieutenant knows each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go to a ball and there's 460, 470 there. Almost everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Even us as officers, my uncle, that's the captain, can walk from table to table and know everyone.
Yeah.
Whereas, and everybody gets along, even at meetings, any of our functions.
Right.
We are very family oriented.
It's literally a party with 250 to 300
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
your
you know,
friends. Your closest
It's something
friends,
that you
so.
don't get
Yeah.
in some of the bigger clubs. And honestly, my float that I ride on, because I don't ride with the officers or the captain, I ride with my friends. No offense.
Until this year.
Yeah, until this year. But I've been riding with some of my friends, and I have about 6, 7 guys that all ride in one of the super crews, and they still ride. They do both. They do us and that, and it's one of the things that they say. It's like they can come to a meeting or any of the events, and they just know everybody. They're not just a number.
Right.
It's kind of cool, just like our float loading process. When we load floats, everybody helps one another. It's like a fun day that everybody helps and loads and stuff. Whereas when you go to some of these bigger clubs, it's like it's a hassle. Only
Every
this
man
float.
for himself.
Yeah, every man for themselves.
Exactly.
You got to have the right credentials to get in, to
Yeah.
get past the point, to drive your car in, and you can only load this float on this day. And us, we're just everybody just
Laissez-faire.
Yeah.
doesn't.
Right.
Yeah,
As
it gets
I've
a little
been-
hectic. Believe me, you put 300 people and cars pulling everywhere. It gets hectic.
And the
but
last
everybody,
couple years, we've been doing it in a
yeah,
complete thunderstorm. So.
yeah, yeah. We've done
As
it in
I've
the
been
rain.
talking more and more with different crews, you do start to see how it seems like there's a lot of the crews that are pushing more to be like, not just family friendly, but like you were saying, a big happy family.
Yeah,
to where,
absolutely.
you're active throughout the year.
For sure.
You're seeing each other throughout the year. It's not
Absolutely.
just like,
It's
hey,
not just
see
Mardi
you
Gras
next
season.
year on Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
You,
absolutely.
you guys have a presence.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
definitely.
And that's look, we do have out of town riders. We
yeah.
have a good amount that we only see, at the weekend of the parade. But we'll try to make the ball or something. They'll try to make 2 weekends. But for the most part of our riders, everybody's here. Which
Or within driving.
Yeah.
which makes
I was
it.
going to say, it sounded like you had a majority local.
Yeah,
group where
I would say definitely
that's
majority
Excalibur,
is.
we have a lot of out of towners,
Okay.
especially our particular float. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about the percentages or anything, but
Yeah, no, majority of ours are definitely local
Yeah.
New Orleans,
That's-
Mandarin.
And
that's
it's really
helpful,
it's
yeah.
really what you need, because you get too many. Because one of the big reasons we made the move to Friday so many years ago was because we did have a lot. We had an influx of out of town, a company that was bringing riders in from out of town, and which is great to have as an extra add-on bonus. But if you ever lose that core group and you don't have that good core group of
Right,
local
it's
people,
hard to
it's hard to
fulfill.
rebound it back. So
Yeah, at one point I want to say y'all were on like a Tuesday or something like that. Like,
On a Tuesday?
yeah, it
Maybe
was like
back in the day.
like in the 80s or
That was before me, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I don't remember it ever being. When I started riding when I was a kid, we were always Sunday, a Family Gras weekend,
Yeah.
And at that time we were it was Super Sunday at the time. You had Mercury, Rhea. I think we even had Sinbad in there at one time, and then we were always the night parade. And one of the reasons we left that Sunday was because, first of all, it was the first weekend, and everybody always has work on Monday. So that was one of the big reasons, is the work on Monday. And then we've enjoyed Friday night being a 7 o'clock parade. We spend a lot of money to make sure our floats look the way we want them to look. We want them to be lit up at night. On Sunday, because it's the first weekend, it's a school night. So it was a little bit of a struggle with bands because, a lot of marching bands don't want to march a school night at that time. And then, the parish was always pushing us to shove our parade off, to get out of the parking lot earlier. And we always wanted it to be dark when we hit the street because we wanted everything to light. And they were, we were always 5, but 4:45, they were like, all right, I want to, if they got the other 3 off, because they started them at like noon, one behind the other. They were always constantly shoving us. So when we went to Friday, it was like, all right, most of our riders were off on Saturday, so it worked, and we were able to be 7 o'clock. Right. And this year will be 6 o'clock on Saturday, as of now, that's what we're told. So.
Friday's absolutely the day as far as people getting out there and all. The crowds are always best on Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, that's the ideal day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday worked well for us. So we'll try Saturday and see how this goes.
I think it'll be great with Family Gras. Ending at Family Gras, super excited about that.
yeah, that's like I said.
It's kind of like
You're
what we
gonna
were
love it.
talking about at the end of the parade when on the old route. It was kind of like, oh man, it's over.
We're done.
Now actually ending and a festival still going on. It's something to look forward
literally 10 feet away from your float.
to. Yeah.
You've got, some huge musical act.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and the best part about it is it's a party that the club doesn't have to put on.
Right, we don't
You
have
know
to
what I
pay
mean?
for it.
Because believe me, we've had this fight as a board if we should do an after parade party, and
It's something we used to do.
it's just we haven't done it in 10 years, and it's just if we put on an after parade party, it's something that because look, we're exhausted that day. For the parade is work for us. I mean, it is making sure everything's right, making sure everybody's got costumes, masks, just making sure everything's
Honestly,
right.
that's the reason we ride in another
parade to have just a
fun.
chill out
Yeah.
parade that we
Because
just
we
get to
work.
show up to.
Yeah.
But a lot of times by the time we start that day, getting stuff out on the parade route, getting things set, by the time we get off the floats, it's going to be nice to go into the Family Gras where we can just relax and enjoy the music, and it's not something that the club's putting on and
Right.
we all have
We
to
have to
be at. We have to
control
make
it,
sure everything's going right. So this is going to be.
I'm kind
This
of
would
a
be
little
nice.
surprised at the lineups that they do get. They actually do a pretty good job.
They do.
They do a very good
do.
job.
I think
Some,
the move
bigger
that
racks.
they did to Clearview Center, I mean, last year I felt like went completely successful for
was
it.
it John Oates maybe?
Yeah, Oates
Yeah.
was playing as the parade was arriving, and then B.J. Thomas was playing
Yeah.
After.
Okay.
afterwards.
I don't know who was Saturday because we weren't there. I didn't go out Saturday.
Saturday was Michael McDonald.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Sunday was Blake. What was it Elridge?
Blake Eldridge, yeah.
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 I was out there Sunday.
Brett.
So.
Brett Elvis.
Brett Elvis.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
Sorry.
Again, I want to remind everybody when y'all are rolling, where
February
they can check y'all out.
15th. Yeah, February 15th, 2020 is our 41st annual Krewe of Centurions parade. Check out Facebook, Krewe of Centurions, and website www.kreweofcentorions.com for more information.
Yeah. Right now, Parish tells us we're pulling off for 6 p.m. So
There you go.
What about that Twitter and that Instagram also?
Yes, absolutely. I don't remember our Twitter handle, but you may
Twitter
have that.
at Krewe Centurion and your Instagram Krewe of Centurions.
Centurions.
Yes.
There you go.
Gotta plug it.
yes.
So I want to thank y'all for coming on.
Thanks
yeah,
for having
thank you
us.
for having
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, this is a
So
pleasure.
till the next show, see you out on the parade route.
Happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras! Thank you again for tuning in to us tonight. Also, thank you to tonight's guests. Be sure to check out our guests. We have the links below in the description here on the audio and video podcast. And also, you can follow us if you like what you're seeing.
It's on Facebook at Parade Route Tales.
Yeah.
Or
And also, we're on Instagram at Parade Route Tales, and on Twitter, it's at Parade Route Tale. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Scoop Show Network. We're trying to put as much content out there. We've been putting pictures and sharing different
small
events.
videos, little
And
clip hits of what's coming up, future scene events of our guests. So, yeah, keep an eye out.
yeah, so, thank you for tuning in. Signing out. We'll see you on the route.
Happy Mardi Gras. All right. Ooh, kinky.